Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Riku from Japan. This channel is all about Go, which is an exciting and easy to start board game. Today's topic about ending a game. Ending a game literally means the final phase of a game after territory is roughly shaped. There's a certain flow towards the end of the game. By following that, you can have as much territory as possible. For beginners, it is not easy to understand the flow, but you will get used to it. Let's get started!
The ending phase of a game consists of two major steps. First step is connecting stones so that you have fixed boundary lines. Boundary line is a border between territories. As I have explained in the previous videos, during a game, players make territory roughly using single space jump or two space jump. Then, as players repeat offense and defense, vague borders become fixed. However, in many cases, even after major fights are over, still some borders need to be fixed at the end of a game. I can't tell exactly when this step begins, but you will learn gradually as you experience more games. This step of connecting stones is pretty important to prevent opponents from attacking your territory. Now, let's take a look at an example of connecting stones and fixing boundary lines. For example, it is White's turn, and they should start fixing boundary lines. We shall start playing from the upper area. In this kind of situation, certain moves have to be made. Firstly, White puts one here, Black puts here, and then White and Black like this. The third move of White is to connect the stones to run away from Atari. The fourth move of Black is to protect the black stone of the second move from being under Atari, because if White places a stone there, that black stone will be in Atari and captured by White. It is not difficult to remember those moves if you understand the meaning of each move. If it were Black's turn, the result would be like this. As you see, comparing two results, the player who plays first gets larger territory. It might look like only a small difference, but I can decide the outcome in a close game, so be careful. Now, let's start playing in the center area. When White puts one here, the boundary line is already fixed. If White didn't, there's a chance for Black to attack White's territory. The point above where White put a stone became a neutral point, and it will be filled after boundary lines are completely fixed. I'll explain about it later. Now, it is Black's turn, and the stone will be placed here. Then, White puts one here. After that, Black and White plays like this. The pattern is similar to what happened in the upper area. You must remember it by understanding the meaning of each move. Then, you will be able to fix boundary lines in any kind of situations. We'll move on to the next step, filling dame. Dame are unfilled neutral areas which would not belong to either player. Like this point, for example. This is a part of a boundary line, and it won't be either White nor Black's territory. Players fill dame at the very end of a game after fixing important boundary lines. When all dame are filled, both players pass their turn, and the game is over. Now, let's take a look at an example of filling dame phase. We'll continue the game we used for the last step. In this case, there is only one dame at the center. Since it is Black's turn, Black fills this dame and it is finished. As I have mentioned before, dame does not belong to either player, so play at the very end. Did you understand how it flows to the end of a game? For boundary lines of territories in the corner or side area, you just need to remember the basic moves. And for the center area, you should think of the best move for yourself. Now, let's try an exercise to review what we've learned today. You should end this game. It's White's turn. I'll give you a time to think. Are you ready? Then let's start. First thing you should do is to fix boundary lines. There are unconnected parts in the upper and the bottom area. Let's begin from the bottom. Of course, it is okay to start from the upper area as well. You just need to play as I showed earlier, but you do not need the forced move of black this time. Because there are no chance for white to attack black's territory without that move. If white puts a stone next to black, it will be in Atari. As I am telling repeatedly, important thing is to think of the meaning of each move. This will help you to identify the necessary and unnecessary moves. Now, we'll move on to the upper area. It is black's turn. Again, we will play as explained earlier. And again, as same as lower area, it does not require the first move of white also for the same reason. So, fixing of a boundary line is finished, and then it is time to fill dame. There are 2 dame this time. Can you find them? Yes, let's fill. White and black fill them in turns, and the game is end. Today, we have fixed boundary lines one by one, but in actual games, players often fix several boundary lines at the same time. Therefore, you need to think which is the most beneficial one for you.
Did you enjoy today's video? Was it difficult? We learned the ending flow of Go games. There are 2 steps, fixing boundary lines and filling dame. For fixing boundary lines, you should remember the basic move as I have introduced. Be careful so that you have the most territory possible. Then, dame are points which do not belong to either player. You should play dame at the very end of a game because it doesn't affect the size of territory. In the next video, I will introduce how to judge winner and loser, including how to count points. There are certain manners when counting points, so please check it out!
So much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and be sure to hit the subscribe button before you go. See you in my next video.